That's right. The Omega Level Nerds are back with you here on our YouTube channel, and we are going to review and react to Dragon Ball Z. I'm sorry, Dragon Ball
Oh, oh,
Super
oh, oh, copyright.
Superheroes. I'm sorry. The fact that 40% of the name is the word super, threw me off a little bit there. But yes, we got Halo drama. Waverly Frontman with us again. May recognize us from some other Dragon Ball Z stuff, but here we are. So obviously, this is not out in the USA. No sub, no dub, right? No sub, no dub.
Spoiler
And
alert.
right. Well, I'll tell you what. Before we go into full spoilers, which there's really not. I mean, I don't know. We could do our best and still not spoil because we didn't. At least I did not understand everything. Before we go spoilers, though, let's just kind of, did you like it? So, Waverly Frontman, did you like it?
Uh, yeah, I can say I liked it. I honestly haven't been keeping up with the latest on Dragon Ball series. I don't know if the animation has been quite like that through the others, but it's definitely an interesting take the way they've been taking that.
Okay. Yeah, we'll talk about the animation a little bit. Halo drama. What did you think about it? Did you like it?
Um, on a scale of 1 to 10, and not to mention you're coming off the Broly movie, which was a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Um, 5.5, 6.
Okay.
It wasn't horrible, but at the same time, yeah, watching it no sub, no dub, I didn't understand damn near anything they were saying.
Yeah, I mean, we'll try
But
and we'll try and parse through it, but yeah.
right, yeah, you know when shit's going down,
Yeah.
obviously, and some of it I can make out just because I've been watching fucking anime
Yeah.
with um subbed for Lord knows how many decades now.
LimeWire.
Um, right, Kaza, back when they
Right,
would give
Kaza, right? Yep.
back when your computer would get AIDS.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but overall, I thought it was pretty good. Just like we had talked about on episodes before, I did like that it wasn't based on Goku and Vegeta. Some other characters actually got the spotlight. If anything, if I had to, not even so much Gohan for me. If I had to say whose movie this was, I would honestly say it was Piccolo's movie.
I would agree. So we're going to head into light spoilers territory here because, yes, this is Piccolo Gohan centric, but I would agree it's really more Piccolo. I mean, he was doing from early on in the movie, he was the one doing stuff. And again, we'll talk about that. But yeah, so a little bit of spoilers though. Don't come into this movie thinking, oh, am I going to see the next shit that Goku and Vegeta are doing? Nope, because you're not. They're Professor X'd out of the movie. And for those of you who don't know what that means, it's like the X-Men and the X-Men movies. They got to find some way to get Professor X the fuck out of there, because if he was actually doing stuff, there would be no movie. It's over. So we very much get this. The threat that we face here, I do not believe, would certainly be anything that would challenge Goku or Vegeta, but I could be wrong, because now we're full spoilers. The enemies of this are just, they're way strong out of nowhere, in my opinion. So
Yeah.
so let's talk about it. So this movie starts, so some sort of like fat grandchild of Dr. Gero or something, I don't know.
I figured there was some kind of relation to them, but again, watching it in full Japanese, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know exactly what they're saying. But I got and I think that's in my notes, that I felt like there must have been some kind of relation
Mm-hmm.
there in some way.
Yeah.
Oh, and I do believe if this, yeah, because this was written by Akira Toriyama, so it's canon, just like Battle of Gods in the Broly movie. Um, that they made canon that Dr. Gero had relations with. I don't know what her real name was. I don't know what her name was when she was human. Android
Mm-hmm.
21
Yeah.
and Android 16. It's always been kind of a flipped around myth, or for the most part, if Android 16 was Dr. Giro's son, but this put that straight into
Yeah.
perspective that he definitely was.
Yep.
Um,
And they show that he's got all the knowledge. He's got information on all the Z fighters. They even showed the Frieza Trunks fight from a different angle, which I appreciated.
yeah, that was pretty slick.
I liked how quick it was. You know, like when you first see it, it's all slow, but this time it's like boom. I was like, yep.
Well, that's because the first time you seen it, they had to drag it out for
Yeah.
effect.
Yeah.
Whereas, we all know what happened now, so it was just over.
Yeah. I did like that.
Yeah. I can't remember where I left off because I have notes out the ass.
Sure. Yeah, no, jump in. I mean, yeah, jump in. Because outside of that, so they establish that Red Ribbon is here. They got all sorts of shit going on. They've built these androids. You know, they're going to present something. And then, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt
No,
you.
go.
Remember I brought this
Yes.
up in many episodes ago that Dragon Ball Super would eventually cover the Red Ribbon Army.
Yep.
I predicted the fuck out of that because Dragon Ball Super was the only iteration that hadn't covered it yet.
Mm-hmm.
So, kudos to me and
That's
my
right.
knowledge
That's right.
of the Dragon Ball universe, knowing that would happen at some point in time.
Yeah. I give you credit to that.
Definitely. Let's see.
Also, this is after the Tournament of the Gods or whatever.
The Tournament of Power?
Yeah, Tournament of Power.
Yeah, it's after the Broly movie too.
Yeah. Yep. So, I didn't know for sure, but now that I think about it, it's like, how did I not know that already? But just for those that may have been confused.
Yeah, because obviously there's the time skip. Pan's at least maybe 5 years old.
Training with Piccolo.
Look at Piccolo being a good granddaddy.
He's the MVP of this movie, man. Like,
yeah,
he's training
I
with
agree.
Piccolo. Then Gamma or number 2 or whoever the fuck just out of nowhere, because again, so no sub, no dub, just comes out of nowhere. Wants to squab. Did anyone catch a reason?
I thought it was because again, no sub, no dub. I thought because Gamma fought Piccolo, and then I can't remember what the number one's name was. He fought Gohan, but I felt like neither of them were fighting with like evil intent or malice. I think it was more scouting.
Yeah.
Their powers and their abilities, possibly for, spoiler alert, the Cell Max.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I got out of it. But again, this is going on just watching it and trying my best to analyze it in straight Japanese.
Right. And he thinks he killed, and this is how, like, legit Piccolo is. He thinks he killed Piccolo. So he just goes off. Piccolo was smart enough to be like, oh, let me go play, get out of there. Dude doesn't notice it and then follows him straight to his base. And fucking, this has got like some spy movie shit to it. And it's Piccolo, starring Piccolo.
Right. Yeah, Piccolo. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Waverly.
I think that Gamma 1 and Gamma 2, I think they were basically programmed or whatever to be like heroes, superheroes.
Yeah, that Giro guy, the Red Ribbon leader, at least the small fat one, has some sort of superhero fetish. So, yeah. They even showed heroes, villains, so we'll understand that more in the theatrical release in the USA.
Comic book action they give on some of the hits there and stuff like that.
The comic book scripts in the back as they're fighting, that was really a nice touch as they're selling the superhero angle, but it really the CGI graphics and combined with those words popping up, it really made me think of Dragon Ball Fighter Z. Like it looked that you were playing this as a fighting game, which is cool. They didn't stick with it the whole movie, so
made me think of the old Batman.
Yeah. Pow, yeah.
Right.
Bam.
Let's see. I already said that.
Now, was the last Broly movie, was that all CGI like this, or it was like spliced, right?
It was about half and half. It was mostly CGI. Just once they, I'd say once Broly went Super Saiyan. There was maybe a no. There was some before that. I'd say when Goku went Super Saiyan God against Broly, that's when the CGI really kicked in, and then it just progressed more than that. Not as much as this movie, no.
What did you think about that? Did you like it? How this movie looks?
Oh, it didn't bother me at all. I'm a Dragon Ball fanatic, so
Right.
I'd have
Okay.
watched I'd have watched it in stick figure and
Ah.
still found and still found some kind of way to enjoy it. So, but no. I thought it was slick. It's something different. Yeah, for all the people who are online complaining about, oh, they're changing this, they're changing that. You can't stay stuck in the past. Shit's gonna change.
Yeah.
And you either roll with it or you don't. And it's Dragon Ball related, so I'm rolling with it.
Yeah, I don't think it would come out as fast either if it was hand drawn.
Right.
Right.
So what do you want?
So no, me personally, no, it didn't bother me at all. I thought it was slick as hell. It's something different.
Okay. Yep. I'm with you
If
there.
if you really paid attention to the series, especially Dragon Ball Z, each arc was animated differently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Each movie, in their own way, was animated differently. You either dug it or you didn't. And definitely wasn't no point in complaining about it because they was going to do what they wanted anyway because they knew
Right.
they knew you were going to watch it anyway.
Yep. You're right there. They got us. But I think it looked good. So yeah, I think anyone complaining about it is just I don't know, wrong.
You know how it is nowadays with this culture. Everybody got to complain about something.
Yeah.
Right. Little change.
Man, right. Let's see. No, we were talking about the Red Ribbon Army. I know we obviously saw that the possible. It didn't necessarily say he was the leader. I'm just gonna.
There was like two. Yeah.
Yeah, excuse me. I'm just gonna assume that he was the new leader because he was telling everybody what to do,
Yeah.
and he seemed like he was in the forefront. The guy Magenta, and I assume the other guy was just his right hand man because he was driving him around and lighting his
Although
cigar.
I don't. Yeah. And then he was going to attack him with a bee for some shit, and then he was going to wreck the car, and then all of a sudden they were cool.
I said something about that.
I'm like, why is this fucking guy menacing him with the bee, and then wondering why are we crashing? You know.
You know the crazy thing about that is I thought a little deeper about that. That bee that he has.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that's the same kind of tracking type of thing that Jiro used on Goku all those years.
Sure.
Could be.
Yeah,
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. I did laugh. Again, all in Japanese, don't know exactly what they're saying, but the Dr. Hedo that they picked up out of prison and the dude Magenta are in the car talking about, obviously they're plotting about what they want to do with the army and what he needs Hedo to do or something like that. And he must have said something that Carmine didn't like because he just pulls out that gun and basically just looks like, you want me to shoot this motherfucker?
Yeah.
And the dude Magenta's like, whoa, calm down, put that shit away. I got this. And that, I don't know why, but that part made me bust out laughing because that's how I said it to myself in English. He said some foul shit, and dude was just straight up like, look, you want me to shoot this motherfucker?
Right.
And yeah, I thought that was hilarious.
So after Piccolo gets attacked, and he infiltrates, their shit, then he goes up to see Dende.
Yeah.
And they summon the dragon, and then we get Super Saiyan Piccolo. Any ideas on what that was all about?
Yes, the funny thing was Waverly and I were partially talking about that earlier, and we kind of stopped. Well, you know what? Because I know a little more deeper into the story. So Waverly, you go ahead with your possible opinion on that.
All right. I mean, just judging from the situation, it was either a situation like Guru was unlocking the powers of Gohan and
Krillin.
Correct. They
Krillin
did
and
seem to reference
Dende and
that.
all them. It did kind of flash back to that at one point.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking it's either some form of that or what's that?
Nope. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I'm thinking it's either some form of that or with the way his eyes were glowing when it first happened, I almost think it could be some sense of like Shenron inhabiting Piccolo's body.
Mm.
And their interaction between the two was almost like a master servant kind of deal. Shenron clearly knew who Piccolo was immediately.
Right.
Right. Okay.
I was gonna say my take on it's a little different because again, just hearing it in Japanese, Gamma kept calling him Piccolo Daimao.
Yeah.
So he basically kept calling him King Piccolo, not just the normal Piccolo that we know. So maybe he thought that he was still, kind of like that evil original King Piccolo. So my take on it, I'm not so sure about the Super Saiyan glow, but I thought that he asked the dragon to bring forth his original. Oh, and not to mention, if you hear Gamma, he keeps talking about Kami. What they're saying again, I don't know because I can only make out Kami, but he keeps bringing that up. So I thought he wished for something along the lines of bringing back forth the old King Piccolo's type of powers and ways, or something like that. Because that's what I got out of the dark circles around his eyes, and the fact that knowing that the original, they only cover a little bit of it in the original Dragon Ball, but the original Kami and Piccolo was supposed to be the strongest motherfucker out there.
Yeah.
So I guess that's kind of how I looked at it, was like he asked the dragon to bring forth more of his Piccolo Daimao, King Piccolo,
Right.
powers, abilities, attitude, or whatever the case may be.
Okay.
But again, with going in all Japanese, they're kind of both good they're both good guesses.
Yeah. I seen it, and I agree.
Right.
I would both.
His appearance kind of reminded me of King Piccolo in that moment too, when he got
sure. And then later on in the movie, he has a secondary transformation, which we'll talk more as we get into the final fight here. So, he's infiltrated. He's found out, and again, we don't know for sure, but he's found out these plans of the Red Ribbon. He's infiltrated their situation. He kind of arranges Pan getting, or they took Pan, kidnapped, and so they kind of started working together. But then Gohan gets involved and kind of just fucks it all up. So it just gets to a straight out, okay, here we go, type of deal, where we get like not the main fight of the movie, but like the fight in the middle where we see Gohan, Pan, Piccolo go against 1, 2, and the soldiers and shit.
Right, because that's something I thought of too.
I didn't understand why Gohan though was just like chilling, sitting there with his like Piccolo getup. Like I don't get me wrong, this movie, just spoiler alerts, is for those people that miss like the old Super Saiyan 2 Gohan versus Cell shit. This movie is basically just them doing that kind of again, and we'll get into that more. But so nonetheless, so the first time you see Gohan though, he's like sitting chilling, and he's all like Piccolo armored up.
Well, Piccolo ran up on him while he was doing his studying or office work or whatever, and they were talking about something. Obviously, all in Japanese, have no clue what they were talking about. And then Piccolo put those clothes on him. Gohan was in his normal.
I missed that part.
Clothes.
Okay.
Yeah, and Piccolo put those clothes on him. I don't know if it was something like, dude, stop playing, like, I'm dead serious,
Right.
we need to
We
train,
gotta go.
or something. And he was like, well, if you don't choose to, I'm gonna make you. Weighted clothing. All of a
Yeah,
sudden,
yeah,
he
yeah,
was
yeah.
just like, what the fuck?
Piccolo holds his phone weird too, by the way. I don't know. You
Right.
noticed
We
that?
were Waverly and I were talking about that earlier. Was like, they just taught him how to use a phone.
Yeah.
Just like,
It's like a ridiculous purple-looking phone, and he's just like, "Huh."
right.
The first thing I thought of when I saw him doing that was social activity.
No doubt. Um, I did, even though they weren't the main focus of the movie, I did like the little bit that they showed of Goku. Spoiler alert: Goku, Vegeta, and Broly training on Beerus's planet.
And who's the green person? Is that Kotetsu replacement or something?
I can't remember his exact name, but he was in the Broly movie.
Okay.
He
But
was
yes.
him and the girl were friends with Broly.
Right. Yeah. Now I'm okay. So yeah, so that's great that you touched on that, because, like we said, this isn't Vegeta Goku centric, but they do touch on it. They're training with Whis, and they're really training with each other, and I think it's really cool. They decide, okay, we're gonna fight, but no Super Saiyan shit. And again, it's all Japanese, so you just see I'm taking in context. No Super Saiyan, nothing. We're gonna fight till one of us loses.
Well, I tell you what, that was partially covered later on in Dragon Ball Super, where Whis was training them, but he wanted them to stay in base form
Mm-hmm.
while they trained, because obviously the more powerful your base form, the more powerful your
Yeah.
transformations are going to be. So and who knows, Whis may have said that, but again, all in Japanese. There's no
Yeah.
way to really tell. But I do like when they first pan to them training. It's Goku and Broly, and you can tell Broly's about to go the fuck off,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Goku's
yeah.
like, whoa, 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 whoa,
Yep,
whoa,
yep,
all
stop.
right, we're done. Calm down,
Yep.
calm down, because we're not on Earth, and this is what I put it together as. Like, we're not on Earth, and we're not on your planet, Broly. We're on Beerus's planet,
Mhm.
and if you start fucking shit up here, Beerus is gonna fuck us up. So I need you to chill the fuck out.
Straight up.
Like I'm trying to teach you how to control your powers and shit, but you got to understand that you might be a boss, but Beerus and Whis will jump our shit if you fuck too much shit up on this planet.
Yep.
And that's what I took that as. And yeah, then Whis came in, said whatever he said, and then Broly pretty much just sat it out and was like, Vegeta, Goku, base form, go at it, full strength.
Yeah. While he's eating.
Right.
Had to eat first, yeah.
Right.
Kind of jumping back to that scene where Piccolo was interrupting Gohan's research or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Was he talking about some kind of Super Saiyan worm right there at some point?
They brought up Super Saiyan something, but again,
I
all
heard it too.
Japanese.
Yep. Super Saiyan.
And
Yeah.
then he showed those diagrams with the two pictures of those worms, and one was glowing yellow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
everything can go Super Saiyan or something. I don't know. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Surprised we
So-
did not get a Super Saiyan Pan. I figure how young Trunks and Gotenks went Super Saiyan. I figure with her training with Piccolo.
Yeah, they were pretty young. Yeah.
I
Maybe
think
they
we
just
got,
didn't
like,
show it,
first
but-
one.
But then again, this is fucking. Those are Goku's and Vegeta's kids. They may have been having sex as Super Saiyans.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure Goku was. Because remember, Goku was stuck in Super Saiyan form during the fucking Cell Saga.
Yeah, you're right.
After the time chamber.
You're right.
And Vegeta's just Vegeta. He's got to show dominance in every kind of way. So yeah, he was probably a Super Saiyan. Had fucking Bulma bent the fuck over some shit. Okay, now we're up to when when Gohan was fighting the number one. Yeah, he went Super Saiyan, and that was cool. But it was kind of even for a minute, and then the number one started getting in him, and then yeah, Piccolo did like the fake fucking with Pan thing. Piccolo was playing on Goku's anger this entire or Goku's. Piccolo was playing on Gohan's anger
Mm-hmm.
the entire fight.
You
From
could
when
tell
he was I'm sorry.
so you could tell he was prodding him towards that end result.
Right. Because he was fake hurting Pan, and I'm sure he discussed it with Pan, like, I'm gonna pretend to hurt you.
Yeah.
Trust me, this is gonna work. And then Gohan went mystic,
Yep.
and there was a small part. If you're not paying attention, you'll miss it. There was a small part. Gohan went mystic, and he dropped number one, and then he looked over at them like he was about to go after him for hurting Pan, and Piccolo had to give him a real quick, like, "Hey, it's me."
Yeah.
Because if he hadn't done that, Gohan would have went straight fucking after his ass.
Right. Absolutely.
Immediately shed the disguise.
Right, immediately was like, whoa, it's me. And then him and Pan did their little fist bump thing. I thought that was kind of cute. I'll admit that. So yeah, that part was cool. That he was the whole fight. He was playing on Gohan's anger because he knew how Gohan got when Gohan got real pissed off. If anything, Piccolo's been telling him that for years. Like, dude, you need to. Yeah, that's why you need to train. You need to train so you know that feeling all the time. If you messed around and knew that feeling all the time, no one would ever beat you.
Yep. That's true.
Excuse me. Let's see. Then, obviously, at some point, again, all Japanese don't know really what they're saying. At some point, you can tell that the Dr. Hedo and the androids knew that they were being used in some way.
Yep.
Because just like that, they turned on the Red Ribbon Army and kind of started siding with Gohan and them.
Yeah.
Like, what was it? The part where Carmine pulled out the pistol and was shooting at Pan. I can't remember if it was the number one or the number two, shot the gun out of his hand and kind of gave him that look like, whoa, motherfucker, we wasn't in this shit to shoot no kids.
Right.
Yep.
We was in this shit to achieve this kind of goal. You're going against that now. Now you're fucking with me. And yeah, just like that, all the Hedo and the two androids, I'm just gonna assume they're androids.
Yeah.
Immediately just turned on them and joined Gohan and them.
Yeah.
Yep.
The
Yeah, I was
witches-
wondering what caused that beef, because, yeah, then the two, Carmine and the Dr. Hedo, they start beefing. But I don't want to get too far ahead with what results in that. But, so, yeah, Gohan, he goes mystic. He's getting prodded by, this fight in general, directed by Piccolo, like more and more anger. So, a couple more transformations to talk about here that we get into is, we talked about Piccolo's new form, but then he gets a new, bigger form. And I am having trouble remembering what caused him to do that.
It was.
That would be,
Go ahead.
that would be Krillin reminding him of the, they called it the Budokai, basically the tournament from the Dragon Ball, when Piccolo, was able to grow his size. It was almost like he forgot he could do that or something.
I think that's a good point, but I think he might mean something else. And correct me if I'm wrong.
Like when he becomes more orange and just stronger and bigger, not huge like Kaiju, like when he's fighting.
Yeah, he was fighting the number two, and the number two kicked him down in that chasm, and then some voice started talking to him, some deep voice, and then they panned and showed like a glimpse of the dragon.
Yeah.
And then, some kind of circle was on his back, and then, he transformed into that bigger form. That's what made me think that it was some kind of King Piccolo power.
Like Demon
or something
Piccolo.
like that. Demon, or something, some kind of power like that. Only because King Piccolo was big as shit.
Yeah.
And he got into that bigger form, and he had those dark circles, those dark rings around his eyes, and whatnot. And that's what made me think that, it was some kind of, Demon King Piccolo power had arisen in him.
Because I remember, he does that. And before we get to basically the main villain, the main fight of the movie, which, Carmine and Dr. Hedo, they beef. Whatever reason Carmine wants to release something, it turns out to be a version of Cell. Basically, it's a large, imperfect-looking Cell, but instead of green and purple, he's like green and red. Instead of having a sucker at the end of his tail, he's got like a big ball, and he can shoot fucking lasers out from every direction. And every orifice, eyes, nose, mouth, just fucking random places on his body, just shoot fucking lasers.
Dick laser.
I bet you that happened. I mean, we saw so many lasers
that
come.
part,
One had
that
to come
part
from
was
the
off
dick.
camera.
Yeah, exactly. It was just off camera. But yeah, we get this kaiju fight because this demon Piccolo grows big, like Waverly's saying. Krillin reminds him, like, hey, remember when you grew big? Oh, yeah. So, yeah, we do kind of get a kaiju fight there, which was cool. Just two big fucking... So, reminded me a lot of the Hildegard movie, right? Was that movie 12 or some shit? I can't remember
13.
the name of them. 13?
Yeah.
So, that's the way they went with this movie, is that we're going to have a big fucking monster, because I thought... if the Cell was released, he'd absorb 1 and 2, and we'd get, like, perfect Cell or something.
I thought something like that was going to happen, too. And I even put a note on here that even though 18... again, spoiler alert, because...
Oh, it's all... We're deep in it. We're deep in the book.
Eventually, Goten, Trunks, Krillin, and 18 show up.
Mm-hmm.
And they're helping with the fight against the new form of Cell... who's full android, might I add.
Yeah, because they tear him up and he doesn't regenerate or nothing. He's just like metal under it. So yeah, this is not... And instantly you're like, okay, this is not as dangerous as Cell whatsoever. It's just big.
Right. There was a small part of me, given that it was a version of Cell, I kind of wish 17 was also involved.
Yeah.
Just in the fight.
He was referenced.
In the fight, to help whoop Cell's ass, because Cell fucked up 17 and 18.
Mm-hmm.
So to even get some kind of retribution, even if it was just one good punch to the face, that would have been cool to see.
How about Krillin coming in though with the solar flare and cutting off the part of the android?
Yeah.
He's a bitch at first. He's a bitch at first. Like 18 goes off and he just stays there, but he eventually guilts himself into it. And
I think he has that notion. It's just like eventually he's like, my woman went.
Right.
So I guess I better go too, because she can whoop my ass. So let me go show some balls.
Yep.
Fuck.
By the way, did I miss the part where Krillin became a cop, or?
That was a while. It's like beginning of Super, isn't it?
Okay,
yes, near. If not the beginning of Super, he may have already been a police officer in Battle of Gods.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, he just became a police officer because, I mean, he's one of the strongest Earthlings. So,
he is the strongest Earthling, isn't he? Unless TN is counted as an Earthling.
Listen. That has been...
That's a whole nother episode.
Listen, man, we can have that debate because that's been debated about so much, but I don't care what anybody says as far as Earthlings goes, unless you count Oob. So let's disregard Oob, because Oob would win. I still... TN. Straight TN. Because TN, to this day, never stopped training.
Yeah. Okay, that's legit. Not in this movie, unfortunately. He's not here.
No, yeah, he wasn't in the movie, but
it's just surprising. Him, Yamcha.
Right. Well, not Yamcha. To this day, Tien has never stopped training. So, no, to me, and not to me, Tien Tien has jumped in almost every significant fight, even if in a small role. He jumped in to try to fight Cell, knowing he couldn't win. He jumped in to try to fight Majin Buu, knowing he couldn't win. Like you had, how long had it been since you saw Tien, and that dude was in 10, 15 seconds of an episode of Super,
Right.
or not Super, the Majin Buu saga. He got flattened. You never saw him again, but the motherfucker tried.
Yeah. That's true. We'll give him props.
Yeah, I've always had mad respect for Tien because Tien, even though he knows he's an Earthling, he knows what he's up against. He's almost like the Earthling version of Piccolo. He knows he can't win, but bet you he's at the front line. Like he's not just gonna go out and die without giving it a shot.
Right.
That's not happening.
Get the tri-beam out.
Right, something.
So,
yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay. Well, we were talking about Gohan's anger earlier, and how he went, optimistic there and was in the fight. But like I said, this is ultimately, I think it's Piccolo's movie, but you just get a return to that Gohan badassery, end of Cell saga.
Yeah.
How we get that in the form of this big robot Cell is hurting Piccolo. Gohan sees it,
Beating the shit out of him.
he's whooping that ass. Gohan gets a whiff of it, looks at it, and then he transforms into this crazy. At least I'm not familiar with what the fuck this is. Red eyes. The hair is crazy and gray.
Yeah.
Is this Super Saiyan 5? I don't know. Now they go by color, so Super Saiyan gray.
From what I've seen online, they're calling it Final Gohan, but who knows if that's an official name?
Yeah, that's a big mistake in Dragon Ball. We're
right. You
like
know how
30 years deep.
Right. That's the name I've seen for it so far. Me personally, and I even wrote this down in a note, I think that form looks absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, with the hair, it kind of juts forward.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, they tried to do like a new Super Saiyan 2 Gohan look.
Yeah, they kind of did, and that part I'd say they failed on. This is me personally. Yeah, I thought that form looked just dumb. Like, I know to a degree when they go Super Saiyan or whatnot, their hair grows a little, but come on.
Yeah.
Come on. That dude went from about 5 inches to at least 12. You're doing too much. You're doing way too much.
And it didn't go straight up or back. It was like to the side, like off of his head.
Right. Something crazy.
Like some like crazy Iran car from Bleach looking.
Oh, that's another note that I had wrote down when because obviously Piccolo said something to Gohan as far as like, just keep powering up. I'll hold him off until you can power up to your max or whatever the case may be. And there were points where Piccolo was getting fucked up, and you saw Gohan about to jump, and at least twice, Piccolo said something along the lines of, "Don't. You keep powering up. I'm still alive. I'm not broken yet. I got him. You just keep powering up." Then it was that third time, Piccolo's eyes went all white. Gohan probably thought he was dead. And then obviously after that it's a wrap. You're not killing my dad.
Yeah, his real father. And
right.
And so I expected Kamehameha. Yeah. But that's not what he used.
Makanko Sapo.
So yeah, special beam cannon from Gohan and this new Super Saiyan Gray form to the face.
I can say that did throw me off. When he finished him off with a special beam cannon, I was like, get the fuck out of here. When did you even learn that?
Yeah.
You learned that off screen.
You even hear Piccolo talking about, like, use your Kamehameha or whatever, charge up and use your Kamehameha.
Yeah.
and then he turns around and uses the special beam cannon, and Piccolo clearly even after the fact was asking him like, when did you learn that?
Right.
Yeah, they even foreshadowed it a little bit because Piccolo used it earlier in the movie. So
yeah, true. Oh, and oh my God, Gohan, shades of the Buu saga when Goku tried to throw him the Batara earring, and Gohan can't catch for shit.
yeah,
He tried to toss him that sensu bean, and
Yep.
it was whoop whoop whoop
Yep.
whoop. I was like, get the fuck out of here. Then when
yeah. Don't throw
Piccolo was
Gohan shit.
when Piccolo was in his big form, and he somehow with that big dumbass finger,
Yeah,
that big dumbass finger, he dug out that one sensu bean that was in his. Well, Namekians don't have genitalia, but
Yeah.
that doesn't mean it don't sweat down there.
yep. Sweaty
But
bean.
he dug his ass in there after all that fighting and sweating and whatnot.
Could've
Dug
been a
out that
dingleberry.
sensu bean and gave it to him. And obviously speaking Japanese, I felt like Piccolo basically said, "Look, I'm gonna hold this dude off as best as I can. I'm gonna give you this sensu bean. This is the last sensu bean since your dumbass dropped the first one. You better win this fight for us. I can hold him off, but I don't think I can beat him. This is the last one. Gohan, I'm not fucking with you right now.
yeah.
This is dead serious." Yes, Goten and Trunks
They get
joined
into the fight.
fray,
Yep.
and it was cool because obviously you saw the time skip. They're finally
Yep.
older, because it was never explained why in Dragon Ball Super they were still kids, because that made
Yeah.
absolutely no sense. I feel like that was just another one of those Toriyama mistakes, because they shouldn't have been kids in Super.
Yeah, no way.
At minimum, they should have been 12, if not preteens, in Super. But anyway, that's a whole nother story, and it's already animated and out on DVD, so it's a wrap.
Right.
So yeah, you'd see the time skip there because they're older. It'd have been cool if they would have at least went Super Saiyan.
Yeah, I was surprised.
But then, yep, Trunks is like, "Yo, what's up? Let's fuse." And yeah, you see Goten's like, "I don't know if I remember how to do that." And I was like, "Oh, get the fuck out of here." And that's when you knew. At least
Yep.
that's when I knew. I was like, "They're gonna fuck this up.
Yep. No, I was with you on that one.
They're
Even
gonna
look
fuck this up."
Even looked like after they fused, they tried to go Super Saiyan and just couldn't do it.
No, because they fucked it up. Somehow, still proved useful.
Yeah,
Right.
he cracked Cell's head when they were like pinballing him around when he was fat and came
They
down on his
really-
head.
The funny thing is, they were really just knocking him around to 18, and
Yeah.
one of the Gammas just was hitting him, just like, "Move! Like, we're trying to do shit here.
Right.
You're fucking around."
We got a big fucking monster to kill.
So yeah, that again, Goten and Trunks, cool, but underutilized. Because the thing is, even if they would have fused correctly, they still wouldn't have been stronger than Gohan.
Nope. Yeah.
Which is
Agreed.
fine. But what they could have did, they could have fused correctly and still at least been a little bit more involved in the fight. Granted, you still would have got your ass whooped. But I guess it would have just looked cooler.
Well, they would have added some firepower there with Super Saiyan 3 and their ghost attacks and shit. Like, yeah.
Yeah, but this is Gotenks we're talking about.
Yeah.
That's if they're cocky asses. Because Gotenks was cocky as shit.
Yeah.
That was just part of his attitude. Because it was not an experienced fighter like Goku and Vegeta when they fused into Gogeta. It was down to fucking business.
Right.
But yeah, still pretty cool that they at least got a little bit of showtime. Nonetheless, being teenagers, so that was okay. I'm sorry.
So they better get some screen time. Fucking Yajirobe got screen time. So
And fucking Corn. When's the
And
last time
Corn,
we
yeah.
saw Corn?
right.
Right. But again, with number 1 and number 2 switching sides with Gohan and them, I did love the way they jumped straight into the fight once that Cell Max came out.
Yeah.
And you could tell once it got to a point where the number 2 knew he was going to sacrifice himself. Because it was just like, and that's another reason why I think they were just on a scouting mission for Piccolo and Gohan. Because you even remember earlier in the movie, Carmine mentions Goku, Vegeta, and Majin Buu.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what he was saying, obviously, but I think what it might have been, I think they may have been looking for what may be potential threats to their plans.
Yeah. Makes
Kept
sense.
throwing
And-
out for Satan as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because only the Z fighters know that Mr. Satan ain't shit.
Right.
So maybe it was some off-screen shit, or maybe they even said it because again, it's in Japanese. Maybe they even said it was like, we don't know where these guys are. Granted, Majin Buu should have definitely still been on Earth, probably with Mr. Satan somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe it was some off-screen shit where they went looking for him, couldn't find him. Who knows? But they did find Gohan and Piccolo. And not to mention, they had it documented Remember that Gohan was the one who killed Cell.
Yeah.
Because remember, they were showing
Yep.
like little flashbacks of that shit. But in any event, I love how they jumped into the fight. And again, this is why I think that they were just on scouting missions. Because when Gamma 2 flew up in the sky, it was like, and he started powering up. It's like, where the fuck was that shit at?
Right.
This whole
Yeah, they ain't
movie,
done that before.
where was that shit at?
Uh-huh.
Um,
They just had their guns.
right, which is crazy because them guns seemed like they were strong as fuck, and they're guns.
But it was the only way they could shoot their energy, it looked like. It was all concentrated on those guns. They were really reliant
Yeah.
on them.
Oh yeah, good point. They may have concentrated it into the guns with their energy. Yeah, that's a good point.
And then
Um,
that whole mode just seemed like he was going into full overload, just forcing as much power out of himself as possible.
yeah, yeah, that was pretty. He did manage to knock Cell's arm off,
Yeah.
Right.
so give him that, and then he was no more. But remember, these movies that are written by Toriyama are canon, and the Dr. Hedo and the number 1 are still alive. So will they play some part in the future? Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go
it
ahead, I'm
almost
sorry.
seems like they were trying to join up with Capsule Corp and Bulma there, like to get him hired on or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Bulma's got to retire at some point, you know.
Right.
Time is a-going.
No, and not to mention, now that I think about it, even though they didn't show any flashes of her, I want to say even when they picked up Dr. Hedo, when they were in the car talking, they were bringing up something about Bulma. Like, I want to say I remember that it was either there or it was when they were at the Red Ribbon base and Piccolo was standing there with the guards just listening to what they were saying and shit. But there were a couple times I heard them say Bulma's name.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure I heard the like Capsule Corp in general in there as well.
Yeah. So yeah, she had to be involved somehow.
Yeah.
Oh, and another note. You saw Pan was training with Piccolo. She tried to power up, but she couldn't really power up. So she's still learning that part. But
Mhm.
when the cell was powering up or did some kind of blast, Krillin was yelling out for Pan or whatever, and she was running. If you notice, there's another thing. Unless you were paying like close attention, you might have missed it. Is that her ki kicked in because she was in danger. So
Oh.
she may have even almost pulled off like a mini Gohan thing.
Yep.
Where, yeah, she was in danger. She knew that shit was behind her, and as soon as it like barely touched her back, her
Yeah.
ki kicked in, and she flew straight forward
Yeah, I
and
was
got
trying
out of
to-
the way.
trying to figure that one out. I was trying to figure out if she had actually just come out of that beam or something there, and just walked out of it and looked at herself like, "Did I just do that?"
Basically, like I said, that's what I think happened. Like she was in danger, she was scared, almost reminiscent as Gohan when he was stuck in Raditz's pod. He was scared and he was in. Well, that was more him. Raditz was fucking his dad up, and his soon-to-be dad. But yeah, her key kicked in because she was in danger. Yeah, that's how I saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah, pulled like a mini Gohan type of thing. All right, because the only thing I have left in my notes is the post-credit screen. So if there's anything else, anybody wants to bring up before we get to that post-credit screen, I suppose now would be the time to do it.
I mean, yeah, obviously that's the end. Once Gohan does his transformation, special beam cannon through the head, it's over. So we do get a post-credits, and that we return back with Goku, Vegeta, Whis, Broly in the crew. So take it away.
Unless Goku was fucking with Vegeta, post-credit screen, Vegeta finally got his official win over Goku in a fight.
Yep.
That he did, yeah, because they're moving slow. They've probably been fighting for days. And Goku falls while Vegeta still stands. In fact, Vegeta even looked like he was yelling a little bit before he finally falls over.
He was like, something Kakarot. And so what I took that is like I finally beat this motherfucker.
Right.
Even though, if you want to break it down to me, technically Vegeta never lost any fights to Goku. But that's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother story and a whole nother conspiracy theory that I've broken down over the years of watching Dragon Ball.
We'll have to do that one. So, yeah, there we have it. So, again, Japanese, no sub, no dub. Had to watch it with my phone upside down because it was...
Because it was
Listen, yeah. Hey, I don't support piracy, but obviously we can't fly to Japan to go see the movie. We can't teleport. They didn't even release subtitle. Once it comes out in theaters in the USA, we'll be there. So we'll support, There's a way for us to support this, we would have, but there wasn't.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're going to definitely have to come back to this.
Mm-hmm.
Either once we see it with subtitles or once we see it in English. That way we can actually break down everything that was said and done.
Yeah, we'll do it in English. That way we know for sure there's no translation issues, or sometimes shit gets changed up. And
that's true. Not to mention, technically anybody can add any subtitles they want.
Yeah, exactly.
Just to fuck with you. But yeah,
I hate Piccolo's Japanese voice, by the way. His American voice is way cooler.
I have to agree.
He's still the man in this movie, but...
Right. I'll admit that his Ocean Dub voice is better.
Yeah, okay.
Because I'm an Ocean Dub fan. I love the Ocean Dub voices over Funimation. Like I said, I'll give Funimation props that they did release the rest of the series to the mainstream and all that. That's fine. Congratulations. But as far as dubbing goes, man, I'm Ocean Dub for life. I thought their voices were way better.
All right.
Way better. But that's just a personal opinion of mine that will never change.
Nor should it. Hold steadfast. All right. Well, I enjoyed it. I know you said Halo Drama was like a 5 out of 10. I'd give it I give it a little better. I give it a 6 out of 10. Only because, let's face it, my favorite character didn't have much. Although he did get the L at the W. I'm sorry, the W. Vegeta, I'm talking about. He got the W at the end versus Goku. I'd like to see more of him in movies. What about you, Waverly? Where are you at here on a scale of 1 to 10?
Um, I think I would put it up to a 7 just because of the drawbacks to the old story, even like the way it kicked off in the old Dragon Ball series,
Okay.
and
Okay.
bringing back the memories of all that.
Okay, you know what? You know where I'm going to give it a +1 and take it up to 6?
Oh.
The fact that I predicted this movie.
Yes.
The fact
We
that
did. Yeah.
I'm just a lonely Lorraine living person. Nobody even knows where I am, especially when I lived in Elira.
Elira.
And I predicted this movie.
Hell yeah. That's what
Like
makes you an Omega level nerd.
Like a year ago. I predicted
look it
this
up.
movie.
Yeah, check it out. We talked about it. Check it out. All right, well, cool. Well, that's where we're going to put a pin in it, gentlemen. Thank you so much. I enjoyed the movie, even if it was at a very small screen and I had to have my phone flipped to one crooked kind of side, but enjoyed it myself. And we'll talk about it when the, I guess the American version comes out, where we can actually understand every bit of the plot. So, all right, well, let me know what you thought of the movie, if you dare be like us and see it without any subs or dubs. Let us know what you think. And, yeah, like, subscribe, all that bullshit if you feel so inclined. Peace and love. And we'll talk to you again soon.
Peace.